Protesters remain on the streets of Iran defying a government crackdown. A US-based human rights activist news agency says hundreds of people have been killed. Iran has declared 3 days of national mourning. The country's president blames the US and Israel for sowing chaos and disorder and is warning he will retaliate if the country is attacked by the Trump administration.
The voice of many united as one, calling for a better future. But can you make out the figures on the bridge in the distance here? The firing of gunshots, explosions in the air. These are disparate videos, making it out of Iran via Starlink despite the internet shutdown. But they give a glimpse of the crackdown. And of its aftermath. Numerous body bags in a forensic centre south of Tehran, some on mortuary trolleys, more lined up on the floor. A mother screams, begging for her child to get up one more time, but they won't. And outside that morgue, the screams of distress and despair as relatives search for their loved ones. The same place filmed by Iranian state television. The claim here that these were people killed by fellow protesters. 23-year-old Robina Arminian was killed with a shot to the head on Thursday night after she went out with friends to join the protests. She was a fashion student at university in Tehran. Her family told us that they'd given her a secret burial. The state had forbidden it. They don't want public mourning to inflame the protests further. She is one victim whose face we can identify, but there are many more. And on the side of the security forces too, their funerals shown on state TV. Dozens killed, exact numbers unclear, as these protests turn increasingly violent.
I think the mentality of this political elite, especially the security apparatus, the IRGC, is that if we don't stand together, we will be hung separately. This is why you're seeing a lot of crackdown, willingness to kill people, with no regard for international condemnation.
In Iran's parliament, chants of death to America after an angry declaration from the speaker directed at Donald Trump, promising retaliation to any US attack and even a preemptive strike.
We do not consider ourselves limited to reacting only after an attack occurs, and we will act based on concrete indications of threat. It was necessary to say this to you and to all your allies in the region, so you do not make a miscalculation, because regret will be of no benefit.
The US and Israel are weighing their options. Donald Trump has promised to hit the regime hard if protesters are killed, though whether he'll opt for a military strike on the security apparatus over non-lethal options like opening up internet access through US companies remains to be seen. The ideologues in charge like to paint these protesters as stooges of the West or violent agitators.
We ask our dear young people who have reached their own conclusions, rightly or wrongly, not to be deceived by these agitators and terrorists. This country belongs to us.
But behind the scenes there will be many, inside the ruling establishment and across the country, who will be watching as best they can to see which way this all goes and where to plant their flag. Diana Magnay, Sky News.